desert broom. Um, but originally there I wanted to show a little bit of goat heads, how easily they get caught up in your tires. And I looked around in the backyard and I didn't really see any goat heads at all. But then whenever I rolled through the backyard, then they came out of nowhere and they were just my tires were just full of goat heads. I used that white styrofoam lid so that you could see some contrast because the goat heads are dark color. But here's the desert broom that I'm using my loppers on to clip. The desert broom grew really close. It was actually touching up against the wall there, that wall that divides the backyard. Um, and the desert broom uh, is so close to the wall, and also there's ants. There's a bunch of ants right there too. I don't know, just lately it just seems like I run into areas that have a bunch of ants. Um, but I wanted to clear everything away, and that's why I also got away a lot the Bermuda grass weeds and tried to pull them away. And I used the loppers to kind of pull some of the dirt and some of the dead you know dead Bermuda grass away, and I also tried to pull a little bit of the ants away, but they were pretty established in that area, and so I cut as much of the desert broom, just the top of it, as I could, because I wanted to be able to see where the root system was of the desert broom and where it was going into the ground. And then once I finally got it cleared away somewhat, I could, cutting the desert broom and then pulling away the Bermuda grass, the dead Bermuda grass, and finally exposing the ground, and finally able to see the ground. Then I noticed that I had to do a little bit of digging. So I figured that this is a narrow head uh, um, shovel that has a handle right there on the end. That's cool because then I can do it with one hand. I can do the shoveling with one hand pretty much, so it's not too bad. Um, what I'm doing here is I'm just pulling away as much dirt as possible around the root system of the desert broom. I didn't go down very far, maybe 4 or 5 inches. Not that far. I didn't go down very far at all, but I wanted to make sure that it was all pretty clear away from the root system. All the dirt had been removed away from the root system, and there was there was a few big like big stones or big rocks. Since we're so close to so close to the wash, then they were probably stones from the wash that were there. And I also ran into a little bit of the wall there. I think it's concrete right down there at the bottom. So I was digging a little bit into the root system, and then I was also running a little bit into the concrete there because the root system is so close to that wall right there. And then what I did was I got my loppers, and the root system is somewhat wet, so it's pretty pliable. So it's pretty moist, and so it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too hard to cut that root system of that desert broom, and you can see it right there. I cut a pretty big chunk of that root system out. Um, this is what it looks like. Uh, Sorry, it's kind of shaky there. This is what it kind of looked like after I had cut that root system out a little bit and dug down for about 4 or 5 inches, maybe. That's a root system right there. That's a little bit of a closer look. Um, the root system, it kind of started to curl around a little bit uh, whenever maybe it was looking for different spots to to draw water from. Um, there was right next to the root system is a Lady Rosebank's bush, and that's it's very pretty actually. It has lots of flowers and it grows very nicely. Um, I don't know, it blooms quite a bit. Uh, it's a white, white flower. It's quite pretty. Here's the same root system, but it's a little bit further down. So as you can see, the root system is getting smaller and smaller. And cut it down even further. I was able to cut down even further because the further I can get into that root system and cut that root system out, then the better chance I have of getting that desert broom from not coming back in that specific area at all. And that's what I want to do. I would really like to have just that Lady Banks take over that area pretty much. And here's another view of the goat heads, and that was before I took the desert broom